You usually pick on the children first?
I do what needs to be done. What do you expect from a true freak?
Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, the most polarizing character in the entire Dragon Ball franchise. He's been a part of countless debates, reaching toxicity levels that would rival the likes of Kid Buu versus Buhan. Said debates last over decades long. Some of them go quiet but re-emerge later on. So I decided to take my opinion and post it in a video to tell you guys how strong Broly is in my opinion. Now, I will refrain from using Koyama's statements because I don't want to get jumped by my comment section, and it seems to be a trigger word for a lot of people to just dismiss the point entirely, so I will refrain from using that. Another point I want to address is that the movie time placement does not matter when it comes to strength and feats. Even before someone in my comment section says, "Well, Cell took on a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Broly lost to Super Saiyan 1 Goku." No, it doesn't matter. When we're comparing two different continuities, we have to look at their feats and statements. This is similar to comics and video games. People hold the same standards with Dragon Ball Heroes when it comes to its scaling and the Super Anime scaling. We should do the same thing here to be logically consistent. So, time placement does not matter, so higher forms do not matter. It's all about feats, statements, and guidebooks. And that's basically it. So basically, I'm not going to be comparing Broly to his movie villain counterparts, nor am I going to compare him to, like, you know, Gogeta from the movie or, like, Janemba. It's all about focusing on where he would clock in the Zine timeline counterpart.
So, movie 8 rolls around, and there's something interesting that happens within the first couple of minutes. Broly nukes a galaxy. Granted, it's debated if he nuked the South Quadrant or if he destroyed a galaxy at all. There are planets left over, but they do say Broly had nuked the South Galaxy later on. Granted, my interpretation is that he completely, like, ravaged it. There are some celestial bodies left, but the feat in of itself is probably multisolar, because there's no real time frame given, but it's implied to be less than a year. It doesn't make sense that King Kai is already worried about his galaxy if Broly began his attack on the South. They talk about how Broly also ravaged the South. So basically, like, it's not a year. It's also weird for him to just wait if an immediate danger is there to warn Goku. When we see in the Battle of Gods arc, he warns Vegeta of Beerus immediately. So I don't think it's a year when he destroyed the galaxy. Basically, this feat in its low end is multisolar, so it would put him above a good chunk of the cast. Well above the Cell Saga, because they don't clock solar system tier until, like, Super Perfect Cell and Teen Gohan. And of course it would put him above Dabura, Majin Vegeta, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Fat Buu, Grey Buu, Super Buu. Arguably you could debate Buu tanks because you could probably pull some calcs off that, but to counter that we would use the statement made by the director confirming that Broly could nuke galaxies. This statement isn't contradicted because it actually is supported by the narrative that Broly is a universal threat, and that he's, like, destroying the entire quadrants as, like, over time. Even if we wanted to assume that Broly has to take rest, the calcs you could do for Broly would still clock him in the multi-galaxy tier. Again, since the programmer has done it, there's a lot of, like, calcs on the VSP that's done this. Again, it's just more evidence to suggest that Broly is a multi-solar system tier. Basically, movie 8, he's, like, arguably Buhan tier to, like, Vegito tier to Kid Buu tier. He's in that upper echelon of the Buu saga at the bare minimum if we're not using the Koyama statements. Movie 10 rolls around. Again, he scales massively above Gohan, who had not stopped training. I'd argue Gohan is stronger than movie 8 Broly. So if you just want to see that, like, this guy who's, like, arguably Buhan tier is getting completely destroyed by Broly casually, we can use also that scaling to put Broly above the likes of Buhan, Kid Buu, and Vegito. Basically, Broly is someone who slept on a lot because of his time placement, and the time placement doesn't work out as an argument, because if we went through the movies, there are instances where characters have different scaling, and I think that people overlook the fact that the movies scale differently, and Broly is the outlier. because a lot of them follow a linear scale, as in they would fit in a certain tier, but Broly kind of breaks that mold, because like BoJack doesn't have anything impressive. The movie before Broly, they didn't have anything impressive. They were still within the similar tier, but basically Broly shatters that by putting him in galaxy level, by having the director confirming it, by having him destroy like parts of the quadrant, having him maneuver the galaxy. Basically, Broly breaks that mold and showing that like time placement really doesn't matter. And that theme of time placement, of villains coming after and still being weaker, is also shown throughout Dragon Ball Z. As even if you want to take the filler, Garlic Jr. is still weaker than Frieza. The Ginyu Force up here, they're still weaker than Grade 8 Vegeta. You know, basically like that's a theme throughout Dragon Ball, even to this day. So yeah. Basically the point of this video is to basically show us how strong Broly is in comparison to the Z anime. Again, in my opinion, this is what I think. He does beat most of the Z cast. At bare minimum, he's like Vegito tier, if I had to take a very lowballed stance. But that's pretty much it. If you disagree, comment below why you disagree. We can discuss later in the comments. I got a couple of update videos about my channel and upcoming animations. And I got a video on Orange Piccolo and why his wish is worse than the Gorilla wish. And yeah, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be doing more Dragon Ball related commentary content. Alright, man. That's all.